All champions are now revealed for the Fight of the Valkyrie. Yes, hello everybody. Welcome to a video. Following on from I think two videos that I've made on this. This is going to be the final one on this particular subject, especially because now we've had all of the champions revealed for this. So in this video, it's going to be all the information of the nodes, the champions that are on the nodes, and part 2 to it is some of the best champions to take into this particular content, and setting up a really strong or fun and interactive team around some of the different champions, nodes, and stuff like that. So where do we begin? We've got a little spreadsheet. I put a link in the description to it. Funnily enough, as soon as I posted the video that was about creating data, funnily enough, Kabam let me know, a few people know, and player base know of the various champions on the nodes. So that's good, because I was like, okay, yeah, so thanks very much everybody that's kind of posted info on champions they faced off against. It's still interesting because what you get an idea of is what commonly, or the frequency of champions popping up, which is handy in any case to go, okay, well, you know, I've put some X's here which I'm going to just remove from this particular spreadsheet. But it's interesting to note that a lot of players more commonly will be seeing Mutant Blue Cyclops and Doc Ock, which is good because it then falls into preparation for a certain champion on the paths. And that's something that I've kind of really enjoyed going back to using, is someone like Corvus Glaive, because of his mission building that he can do. So this one in particular is node, I want to say it's node 3, which you've got especially energetic, so it's current power rate. I think as long as you've got a power control champion in your team, and my team is on the left hand side, which is Doctor Doom, Magneto, Corvus Glaive, Apocalypse, and Archangel. Now I'm not saying for any kind of this is not the best team, right? Because their best team will be whatever your best team is for this particular thing. But this is my particularly enjoyable team. But then people might say, Rich, you got a rank 3 6-star Hercules. Why aren't you using that? It's just down to like comfort, and that's kind of one thing I like. Yes, okay, it would be kind of good to get out of my shell. Also, that should have been a dead kind of ringer right there, Richard. You silly Billy, you silly fool. Because it would have been good to go, oh right, there's a number there. That means that those are bullets. So therefore, that means you're going to face off against Hood, aren't you, Richard? Yes, you are. That's why you should have kind of chosen maybe another champion. But it was all in good fun, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It's all about just kind of doing as much damage as possible with a champion you like Hood. But as I said, there's lots of different champions, lots of different ones you go up against, and you'll have your best counters, your best kind of creation of team. So we'll go back to, again, the champions you face off against on the route, while I try not to die by looking at the screen and talking at the same time. It's multitasking. Men good at multitasking. We're trying our best in this this kind of society. Oh dear, I've risked it all for a biscuit. Thank God that happened. So as you can see on screen, preparation-wise, depending on the champions you go up against and the persistence champions you're trying to build, you're going up against one of every class on the particular nodes. So it does mean that you can prepare to a good degree. And as I said, Hood could be something that you kind of notice because it has that kind of volume of bullets, the persistency that you would see there. So there's some kind of giveaways. The same way that Heimdall would be a dead giveaway based on that. The same way that other champions will be either a giveaway or not. So if they've got a persistency kind of thing to it, then it probably means that. But the great thing about this is having different classes on different routes could build up different things with persistency, depending on whatever champion's ability, depending on the interaction. That means you can really kind of look at this and go, okay, well, I can create a really decent team. Because on the first node, you'll see all those, second node, third node, fourth, fifth, sixth, and then the boss one, which is the seventh. I've put an extra tab in the spreadsheet, which kind of looks over some of the kind of key champions that you could really build up, a nice, persistency around. And as you said, you've got your likes of your Aegon, because it's a persistent champion. It's got lots of different kind of abilities. But the only issue I'd say with Aegon is that you would need to a degree, and I use this term lightly, to a degree, build up a large amount of combos to get some really kind of decent spice on damage. But to be honest, SP2s and huge bleed damages are going to be just nice for you. But APOC with cable and a nice kind of combination can really ramp up your genetic code very quickly, and as well get cable doing some amazing degen damage. With Corvus as well, facing off against certain champions on the path that's got missions, mission completions like Avengers, Techs, Mutants. There's one, possibly two auto block opportunities on that particular route. Dr. Doom will snap in any case because of his ability to kind of take on power control, which we just saw against Energetic. So I kind of thought that would have been like a better thing to do, to use that champion instead. But as well, if you pair him up with Diablo and Mr. Fantastic, you get the armor break and you get the guaranteed critical hit off a heavy attack, and that's a very easy rotation to do. So just like, you know, parry heavy. If you want to do that, it's up to you. And then you got Ghost, because if you've got Suicide Masteries, and I think there's a node where you've got a particular element of bleed. No, that's it. This is the one here. It's the next one, which is Biohazard. So if you've got like an interaction with Biohazard, whether or not you got like a bleed immunity champion or got Ghost, in any case, you can look to yourself, get those debuff damage and just shoot in. By the way, I'm very much well aware that if you had Suicide Masteries and you play with a lot of the champions that are kind of specified, or even champions like King Groot, which is a bleed immune champion, yes, you do much more damage, and that of course is a relevant strategy. But at the same time, if you kind of like go into yourself, I don't really want to switch on suicides for this particular thing, or I'm not in a place where I want to do it, or maybe you're kind of like doing it for Alliance Wars, and because Kabam can't develop loadouts for Masteries, then you know, you do you with whatever Mastery setup that you want to do and set up. But you can look to other champions. As I said, Hercules will do like just amazing damage. The same thing with Human Torch if you do Incinerates. And because you're going from fight to fight, and that's one of the great things about this, as you're going from fight to fight in the various different types of fight, if you've got an awakened version of Human Torch and you love Nova Flame, you can pre-fight, and you may even, like throughout these kind of fights, build up a good amount of rotations of Nova Flame, or the pre-fight, so you could like recharge it depending on your signature level, and awakened in some sort of capacity. And there's loads more. Mojo, fight to fight, great damage towards the end of it. I think it's degen damage. The same way that you can look at Guillotine 2099. You've got Mole Man. If you've got on very low health from fight to fight, you can just like do a lot of damage because you don't really need to think about topping up your health. Magneto, because there are actually a fair few of #metal champions. I think I did the sums on it, and I think it was like 8 champions are #metal champions that you might face off against. So it can be a great interaction for that. You know, again, it's down to personal choice. Strife being persistent, Professor X, Weapon X, especially paired up with an Apocalypse. And that's one of the great things. It's like with Apocalypse, you don't need to have him like in any kind of like super rarity, but it's just a case of just having him in there to unlock that Horseman synergy for a lot of them. And if you're facing against a mutant like more than once, then it can be good to go, okay, well, you know, I think you can make one Horseman and then rebuild up again to kind of like do another. I don't think you can do 2 in that particular rotation, but at least to say you could then build up your Apocalypse at the same time. You could then kind of if you lose any health with him, then you've got an awakened version. By the end, he's on full health. In any case, others that interact with the end boss, I think it's Odin when he's going up against the final fight, can be a real asset. So there's loads of champions that really do the number here with kind of creating great damage, going up against persistency, and just doing the business. But if all else fails, for me, I just like using my Corvus Glaive, to be honest. That's like my go-to champion, especially for stuff like this. This is why I like this side quest, because I can just kind of break out my Corvus. And even though I might not get my full missions, which, and again, this is another kind of like good point here. We are on, I think it's the next node. So let's have a look at the fight data, because again, this is good for planning purposes. So I believe we've just faced off against Elektra there. So with the build up there that says 2, this could either be Warm. I can't remember if War Machine has persistency now. Part of me wants to say yes. And we've also got Heimdall. My concern is that I'm kind of like not thinking correctly, and it could actually be Purgatory. I could be wrong with that. So I'm going to go in thinking it could be Heimdall and War Machine. So let's just kind of like see if that is indeed the case. I could be wrong. It could be Purgatory with this. No, it is War Machine. But as I said, this is actually good and kind of like speaks into my favor, because this will get me my tech mission. And again, that's good for the build-up. This is why I'm choosing Corvus each time. Also, inputs seem better at the moment. A little bit better than it was on Wednesday. That doesn't mean to say like inputs are now fixed in the game, because they definitely are not. There's definitely jank where there is. Right. finish off. Strong. There we go. So that should have got me a mission. And we go on to the next fight. But as I said, those kind of little persistencies, like when they come up, you can like either go, okay, it's either going to be one or the other. If it was Heimdall, it would be good because I could then try and do that auto block one. And there's nothing there saying persistency, so I don't really know what it is. Oh. No, I already had my tech one. But again, it's a good example about like, you know, oh, there's a tech one for there. But on this route, on this fight, which I believe is fight 6, it's either going to be Sunspot, which would be good. Guardian, I don't think that's kind of like something I need. Sunspot, I need Falcon, I think is the hashtag Avenger, but hey ho, we'll give that a go. And the great thing about Corvus is we've got that nice little immunity to shock, which massively helps. I'm being aggressive here because like I can just get this fight done and dusted there. Just beautiful, absolutely beautiful with Corvus. And there we go. That's all done and dusted with that. So it's really cool. I like using Corvus in this particular kind of like content and grind. Especially the great thing about this is it can go in at your own leisure. Like I've got 2 more runs to do before this kind of re-rolls onto the next one. And so lots of other content to do that I really want to get smashed out. So yeah, that has been it. As I said, there's a spreadsheet, and it's handy because then what you can do is you can check off some of the champions you're going up against, and also get like a few kind of like tips and preparation stuff about like, you know, how persistent charges that appear on per fight can like really kind of help you understand what champion you may go up against. And it's great for champions that are persistency. As I said, we've got a list of champions that are quite good in the interaction, which I'm just going to finish off some final touches there, but in a link in the description will be the finished spreadsheet if you want to go and check that out. Thank you for coming on by and checking this video out. Please also check out some other content which will be located on screen right now, and I'll see you in the live stream later on today. Hope to see you there. Cheers everybody. Oh, and tomorrow we'll be doing a grind guide on unit for preparing for the Cyber Weekend deals. Bit far off, but I think it's important to save now. Cheers everybody. Bye bye.